Thanks so much, Tiff. When Tiff is right, follow up Vicky Kitty here for game number 5. 2 more games left. That's it. It all comes down to the last and final 2 games. And again, we talk about it, the best series that we get to watch in Pro League are the ones where you go into game 5 and you have no idea who's going to win. And that's the case right now. The Guards in first by a decent margin, but really the top 10 teams are all close and in contention with 2 big games here for also potentially still winning.
Yeah, it really takes Furia to frag out the way that they have because they're a very kill-heavy team to then also get the placement points necessary in the end game to put the Guard in a bit of a threatening position where they may not take first place. Furia are right behind them with 41 points while the Guard is sitting with 55 points. Still 2 games left to go, and you know, Fala, how much I absolutely love these Game 5 situations because this is what determines some of these squads in terms of changing up their game pace. If they want to play for KP, if they want to sit pretty and patiently inside final circle positioning, it sets up the pace for how some of these teams want to play.
Yeah, that's right. Game 5, call it the Devil's game. Why? Because, well, it's actually game 5 that's in a lot of ways more important than game 6. The momentum, what you can gain in game 5 is actually more important for teams like FaZe. Well, they're going to drop down Beast, and they're going to get a hot zone here. They needed that. They need a huge game 5 right now to stay in contention, to stay relevant. So it all comes down to this game more than any other. We'll see if FaZe can do it with the extra loot that they'll get. But we're going to kick things off with HEC dropping Shipfall as they're winners from game number 4.
Games I'm surprised to be seeing at the very end of the leaderboards at the moment as we go into this game number 5, Optic Gaming, E8. Yep. Tiff was mentioning how these final circles that pull into your POI benefit you. E8, they land Thunderwatch. They gave that POI up when they decided to rotate forward. They even had Beacon in their favor, but instead of holding that spot, they wanted to get ahead of themselves, maybe contest any of the other squads that were by Stormcaster, like Karasuno, but now we get to see HEC, the winners of our previous game, already make that rotation off the Trident, get in the whip. You know where we're going. Where's my Uber driver taking me after pulling up the replicator real quick? Sometimes that's what you need to get all the extra loot that you want to work with in the early game.
My Hill's ghost riding the whip right there. They're going to rotate through, get the crafter, get all the loot that they need, and then hit an early rotation if they can. Interested to see how HCC plays this. Again, it's really interesting. They're a crypto team, so typically the name of the game and the recipe for success is early rotate and get positioning, like we've talked about the Guard. You know, we've already said that time and time again. But they played a fairly decent edge game, kind of a hybrid. They were, you know, fairly edge, but somewhat in the middle, rotated fairly quickly. They're going to try and do the same exact thing here. I'm curious to see how they decide to play this. But you highlighted a couple things that are important. I mean, Optic in 18th place right now with 8 points. I mean, that's the last thing we expected. We said coming into today, they've been trending upwards. 11th place in their first Pro League day, then 8th. And then a respectable 5th. You thought maybe this would be the one that they finally break through and win, but the opposite has been true. I mean, 18th place, they need a pop-off game here. They got to play more aggressive. They got to get some kills. Well, they'll be rotating from the mill. This is a pretty favorable zone for them, so we'll see if they can perform.
Yeah, where C9 is overlooking here on the top of Down Beast. You highlight Optic, and a pop-off day today would have meant that they could have potentially qualified for LAN. They have now limited time and days to really work into that for their favor because they need as many points as possible. They're currently sitting in the overall leaderboards in 13th place before today, and so you want to be in that top 10 spot, rather top 9 before that finals, that final win that puts that 10th team into the LAN to basically solidify your place in a very good position to play in LAN.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Team Liquid, TSM, Complexity, Dark Zero, Luminosity Gaming, NRG, Space Station, Guard, 100 Thieves, Optic Gaming, G2, CLG, FaZe, Cloud9, Sentinels, Furia. That's 16 teams. I mean, all of those teams are teams that you'd expect to be at the championship, but the reality is there's only 10 spots from North America, and it's going to be so crazy to think that some of these squads won't make it. That's just the reality, and the fact that it might be Optic, the green wall, not at the playoffs, is just crazy to think about, but it's just how intense and how competitive this region truly is. And it's, you know, a little bit interesting to see teams like Dark Zero enter this region. If they don't qualify, that's insane. I mean, they would have had a free qualification essentially because they dominated APAC South. If they do qualify, it's just so darn impressive. That's just the reality of where things are at.
Guard getting hit by the crypto EMP, but it's fine. They got a crypto themselves, and if they really wanted to go for an EMP, they could do exactly the same thing to waiver off any sort of pressure from any of the squads that are neighboring them here in Down Beast. This is a nice call because there's so many squads that have already made the rotation into this area alone. The Guard doing exactly what they've been doing throughout the rest of the day here in NA. They're predicting where the circle is going to be pulling, and with their team comp, it's going to be playing into exactly what their game plan is. Sit pretty, sit inside these buildings, set up those Watson fences and the perimeter, and prevent themselves from getting pressured out by any of the other squads, like this squad right here, TSM, playing on the outskirts of Down Beast. This is going to put them in the line of sight of 3 other squads in this area.
Yeah, one thing I love to see, and one thing that's important to note, you know, again, viewers that are maybe newer to watching Apex or not necessarily as competitive might not kind of recognize that depending on the end zone, teams will play differently. I mean, but this zone right here that's pulling in the northwest is super, super important to rotate early to gain that, again, that real estate, the positioning, the buildings that are going to give yourself success. I mean, the Guard dropped Jurassic Park, Central Map. It was one of the first teams to rotate. TSM at the wall is already here. Optic already here. All these teams have rotated super, super quick because this zone is a very, very crucial early game rotate. Get yourself as good a positioning as you can and play for a late game. But one team that's done it well, I got to keep highlighting them. It's the Guard. The fact that they're able to get a really good position with their team comp of Crypto, Watson, something tells me we'll see them in late game yet again here. Guard potentially going to go back to back to back to back to back with top 5 finishes.
Absolutely. Unless a squad tries to grief them, they would inevitably grief themselves with the positioning that C9 hold on top of down Bs. TSM playing on the low ground. I know Sentinels is in the area. FaZe is also going to be able to rotate away from North Pad to look at a lot of the action. As we tune into Tripods right now, playing a lot more slower here. They're playing on the outskirts of a lot of the mess that we're seeing happen over by the down Bs area. They're actually trying to catch this squad that's rotating with the Trident off guard.
Oh, they're going to get the flash. Don't get the knock, but they break 3 shields. Almost enough damage, and they probably heard that Trident coming from far away. They know the luminosity. That's kind of the name of their game, is grab the Trident and rotate. So they actually intentionally tried catching them off guard. They were all secretly and quietly sitting on that hill and almost just stole a free 3 kill points in a game end for luminosity that LG escapes.
Luminosity dipped so quick off that Trident and said, all right, we already rotated into the next circle. Now is our time to try to circle keep that squad that was trying to pressure us out with the 30-30s. You saw that Tripods also had some arc stars to their name. Imagine if they were able to cut off that Trident rotation, just stop it exactly in where its tracks are. Tripods with the Skyward Dive now know that they could get circle kept by the team that they were shooting at. They made a lot of noise. So with the Skyward Dive, they're looking to get closer into that next circle to take this fight.
Tripod's gonna work over to Barometer, which means they can continue to craft up. They'll be really, really well kitted for late game. All 3 purple shields for them. They drop antenna, so they get a lot of good loot. You know, I think antenna's a high loot drop spot. Perhaps a medium loot, but nonetheless, they're leaving with a really, really good kit. Right now, Luminosity right next to them. That'll be a continued 3v3. Karasuna is nearby. They're actually in Jurassic Park currently, leveling up their Evo shields, fighting some Prowlers. So we'll see if Karasuna decides to enter this fight. If Tripods will fight Luminosity, should be interesting. Let's jump on over to FaZe. Keep an eye on them. What's interesting about FaZe is they actually dropped down Beast. So they had their pick of any position that they wanted. Despite that, decided to actually work the outskirts of down Beast and take this building instead.
Ooh, look at that. It strikes fear in my heart seeing Albert Lately rocking the gold Devo. You know that Turbocharger will go absolutely crazy, and that's a scary weapon to hold in your favor when it comes to these close quarter fights. And with the squad neighboring right next door to them, they definitely got to watch out with that weapon in Albert Lately's hands.
Yeah, he can melt with that thing. That's oxygen right there in the bunker. FaZe could take that fight, and likely, actually, they probably don't know it. They could probably take it without getting third party. I mean, the Guard is the closest team to them, and they ain't leaving that spot. They're chilling. They don't know way the Guard's moving. But again, they don't have that intel. They don't necessarily know what we know, so instead they probably won't take that fight. Meanwhile, Luminosity will catch on and keep a close eye on this fight. Looks like they'll say, yeah, it's not worth it. Let's just leave against Tripods. Tripods have crafted already, and both teams will survive. The BR Demons working their way out from Cenote Cave. So everyone knows, all of our edge teams right now, it's Furia Space Station on the northeast side of the map. 100 Thieves playing Central Map. Karasuno right next to 100 Thieves Central Map. Luminosity, Tripods, and BR Demons coming from the south.
Love how you get to highlight that. With Luminosity also backing away off of a Barometer and even trying to contest Tripods, you know that 30-30 is ringing through that south part of the map, and they don't want the opportunity for some of these edge squads to try to go in for a third party and circle keep them, and then that would inevitably pinch Luminosity with Tripods playing right behind them. So good call on them for the quick rotate. As we tune into Furia here in Cascade Falls, they're looking to craft up some extra stuff on the Replicator, and they are rocking the Bloodhound, so they have information on any squads that were here in the area.
Yeah, take a look. Watson and Panders have 0 damage done and red Evo shields. That goes to show that they've hit every single replicator on the rotate from Lightning Rod on the way to this zone. Again, that's the benefit of being an edge team. You get all the loot, you get really, really good equipment, and you could use that to your advantage. And right now, in the replicator is a extended heavy mag and an anvil receiver. So opportunity for a lot of flatline users or any car users to get themselves an extended heavy mag. They're going to be very, very well kitted, well positioned.
Love it seeing some of our other squads here. Ooh, the bunker doors opening, swinging wide open for E8 to try to take some shots with the G7. This year, Tactical is going to narrowly miss Mercy, but he's going to back up. He gets the information for his team while his other teammates regroup with him.
That's right. Catching this action over in Checkpoint Esports Arena, first attempt, E8 Space Station, all nearby with Furia closing in from Cascade Falls. So a lot of teams are predicting a potential Checkpoint finish. Some teams, the majority of teams, Cloud9, Optics, Season, HEC, The Guard, TSM FaZe, teams that are really good at predicting late game zones are predicting a down beast finish, as the tripods are going to take a Valkyrie as well. A lot of action happening right now. Checkpoint, the mill, and over in down beast.
And they're all happening on the edge of the circle. The Space Station having to go in from the low to high ground. This is where the Rolling Thunder comes into play from Frex. The smoke grenade as well to allow Space Station to have some makeshift cover in terms of just getting out of that squad's line of sight. They're going to be able to wrap around this rock, and E8 making a lot of noise means that it's the green light for Esports Arena to be pest with that charge rifle on the high ground.
Yeah, this is scary right now. You don't want to fight in Checkpoint because there's 4 or 5 other teams that will instantly third-party. An easily third-partyable location is this jungle here towards Checkpoint. Speaking of which, I'd also love to catch in on the action over towards Mill because we have Tripods, Luminosity, and BR Demon. So we'll try and catch both of these fights. I think all the teams in Down Beast are just chilling. Nothing's going to happen there. And shout out to our observers right now. They're catching all the right action in the right places. We got a big fight in Checkpoint potentially about to ensue and a big fight in Mill going to take place between Tripods, BR Demons, and Luminosity. That's what's at stake here as we're watching Furia make the rotation and joining this Checkpoint fight.
Yeah, rotating from the low ground like Space Station, they have the smoke grenades to work with, and they're just backing up in this situation. Let's jump into a listening from Furia to see what their next moves are as they back away from this fight.
Though. We don't have a lot of time for this.
Going down.
2 minutes. One of these teams has to. They're gonna move forward.
When I get smokes, we're gonna walk up left.
Okay, I'm down to take the SSG fight. Yeah.
There's a lot of Seer teams, so we don't want to get third-partied.
I'm walking up to Watson.
Yeah, come. We need to like shoot them. We need to bust through right here.
Tell me when you want scan. That building down low is in.
There's a Watson team. The SSG's probably in there.
I'm gonna scan now.
Target over there.
Yeah.
You need to scan if SSG's in the bottom building. I mean, I don't know where else they could be at.
Yeah, 14 seconds.
Well, there's someone in the
Yeah,
choke.
they're here. There's a team in that left building.
Wow. I don't know what we're supposed to do here.
We just have to fight this team on the building.
Tanks cramming themselves here.
Just fight SSG then?
Oh, yeah, what else are we gonna do? Can't really do
I don't
much.
know. I don't know either. We have to just force inside.
And great listening, good insights here. They're going to full send, it looks like, on Space Station, but wanted to jump back to comms because, guess what? Big fight's going down right now between Tripods, BR Demons, HEC over towards Mill. Meanwhile, Furia are going to push through on Space Station. A 3v3 fight here with potentially get third-partied as well. At the top right of your screen, we'll show LG Yanya joining the fight, taking out Deeds.
Absolutely huge right there, too. Aberlady going down here for FaZe. That's going to be that squad that was holding onto the choke point between Checkpoint into Down Beast. With the circle still pulling towards the Down Beast side, Furia want to try to finish this fight. The Rolling Thunder coming in. They're going to be able to move in after that scan. The Beast of the Hunt activated for this squad.
That's right, Space Station holding their ground here. We got a Bangalore versus a Bangalore. It's going to be an interesting one. But one team does have a Seer scan and intel. The other team has a Bloodhound scan and intel. That's Furia. These two teams in a pretty clean 3 versus 3 right now, Vicky. No other teams nearby on the minimap here, so it should be an opportunity to take this without getting third party.
Also, the Digi-Threat advantage is something else that we have to highlight here for Space Station. The heals are going to get cut off for Furia as his Watson now gets delayed for his medkit pop. He's now having to back away. They actually find exactly where he is. He's trying to reposition to pop the shield bat while Panders is by himself inside this building.
Yeah, that's right. Panda's going to heal back up with that shield bat. Here comes the black hole. Good damage. Look at the third might tick it away. Oh my gosh, Zeratricky is making the difference right now. They have the damage done. They know it. Here comes the push. Stepping on the gas pedal. It is going to be Furia. They're all on full health. Can they capitalize before SSG heals up? No, SSG is going to heal back to full.
SSG now being able to reposition. Zera, if he didn't have to reload, he would have absolutely fried him through the window right there. Furia now is going to get right back onto the high ground. Nice help from Zero, holding hands with Panders while his Watson had to restabilize. They get the first knock while E8 goes down and deleted off in your kill feeds currently right here, and Furia are looking to finish off this fight.
This is a textbook for how you want to play these 3v3 fights. Furia playing it so incredibly well, and they're doing a good job tag teaming. His Watson says, you're it, let me heal up, pops the Phoenix kit. They get the first knock, they reset. They say, we have numbers, we have a 3v2, everyone just chill and reset to full, and they'll use that to their advantage here. But guess what? Space Station's trying to make plays. Their trick is going to get knocked here. Watson takes out Frex. It's going to come down to Space Station being eliminated. No third party. Furia will survive.
They're safe for right now, and they have the time to restabilize and go in for a reset here, too. Zera was just a distraction, all right? They had to wrap around behind Space Station when they wanted to 2v1 Zera at the same time on the low ground. So Furia with a nice cleanup of that 3v3 fight.
Extended line back here. Level 3.
A nice shot from Furia. Super well played now. But now they have two options. They can rotate south through zone and have to fight against Luminosity, BR Demons, Karasuna, or they can take this fight against First Attempt above them. So we'll keep a close eye on Furia, but right now taking a look at Sentinels. Early rotate, finding themselves in a pretty good spot. This is an interesting zone, and no, right now no one is in the zone. Again, we have intel on this kind of mini-map to our side here, so not one team is in the next zone yet. It's going to be a brutal next rotation. As we switch on over to LG, they're going to clean wipe Karasuno very, very clean.
Yeah, LG coming out on top after that fight. Expect these squads to drop like flies. 13 squads left with FaZe meeting them right back in the lobby. Luminosity making their rotation right in the middle of the circle. Uncontested minus BR Demons, I believe, actually across the field from them. Little to no cover for Luminosity minus this bridge, but they're going to be able to wrap around and hug the rocks. They have to keep their eye on the squad behind them because if Furia decide to rotate and take a little bit of circle damage, they're going to be able to actually go right behind Luminosity and pinch them.
Yeah, I love that Luminosity just scan their back to make sure they heard that fight going on and make sure they're not getting flanked. Pander's going to take out Enemigo. First Attempt versus Furia. Furia has their own hit list here. We saw from Vexed and Emiya. Looks like they're doing the same thing. They take out Space Station now in a big fight against First Attempt. This is it. This is what we're talking about. They got the first knock already on the top right of your screen. And here comes the rest. Pander's pushing up. TSM eliminated the top right of your screen as well. Furia clean wipes First Attempt, but Sentinel's right around the corner. Sentinel's going to come and try and third party, but Furia's back to full health. They're going to keep rolling. They're going to keep stepping forward.
Oh, and because Pander's also got that knock with the Beast of the Hunt, it's actually extended long enough for him to get that scan out to Sentinels, who wanted to go in for a little cheeky play off that EMP, but mistiming right there has allowed Furia to try to get the advantage and try to get the one-up on Sentinels. But they're playing the off of the circle, playing behind their backs with no cover to work with.
Yeah, and Watson used up all of his Bangalore smokes right there, so didn't have it in the most important part, which was the rotation. He used it for the fight against First Attempt. Pander's going to get a knock. All up to Zera, Tricky, and Panders is a team of two. Scan comes through. They get the intel. Another team's going to help them. That's going to be huge. It's going to be the guard that comes in third-party Sentinels, keeping Furia alive for a moment. Pander's now literally going to just try and rat, finding a crevice, looking straight down, saying, please don't see me. I'm Bloodhound. I'm green. This grass is green. Camouflage.
Oh, that's not going to work out. Look at the guard. They're like, all right, good try. A for effort. You're gone. You're out of here. This is not a hide-and-seek tournament, all right? That's going to be somewhere else, and Furia get deleted by the guard here as they clear up this side of the circle.
And you said it, the guard. We predicted them to be in top 5 again because they're early rotate, and they are. Here we go. Going to be top 4 after this fight. HEC versus BR Demons. Vayne, see you later. HEC survives. So back-to-back games from the guard and HEC again in the top 4. And surprise, surprise, 2 cryptos. Make it 3 cryptos remaining as Cloud9 is alive as well. The guard gonna have some crypto on crypto action as they'll take out HEC. They're gonna full send. The guard is playing so well today, Vicky.
They're playing so great, and it's not just defensively, it's aggressively as well. And look who's on the high ground right here on top of Pride Rock. It's Luminosity. Come here. I am Mufasa, and Nizul is gonna be able to get some of that beamage with the G7 right here. But the 30-30 in the hands of Yanya with that squad playing right underneath them. This leaves 3 squads left in the lobby. We've got C9, Luminosity, and the guard.
I love how Luminosity's playing this so well. They're heading to swivel. They're turning out, keeping Cloud9 at bay below them, and then turning and getting damage cross map. Doing such a good job multitasking right now is Luminosity. Look at Yanya, this cheeky little spot on the far end of this rock. Little crevice, but not going to be damage he gets. He wanted to see if he could finish that thermite kill. He'll stay on top of this rock and of this position. 3 squads remain, Cloud9, LG, and the guard.
They have to give up this high ground, though. Looking at Luminosity, it's the guard that has the god spot in with the circle advantage in their favor. You can see the smoke grenades from Yaguadis. He's going to be able to put that down to get out of that line of sight while they close in the gap from rock to rock.
Similar to last game, the guard, you got to think, has the god spot because Luminosity and Cloud9 are going to be forced to fight here momentarily. So the guard just has to sit back, play patient, let them fight first, and head glitch. These rocks play with a lot of patience, and ultimately they should win this game. And again, that's a big should because LG finds ways to pull things out of nowhere, Vicky.
You see the mobile respawn beacon also getting called in by the guard as some makeshift cover. They got the rock over in front of them, the truck to their right, the tree right ahead of them if they want to close in the gap, as well as the mobile respawn beacon for some makeshift cover. The guard have everything to work with. Meanwhile, between C9 and LG, aside from just the rock to their left that they're working off of, there's open ground to little to no cover to work with once that circle closes into their back. So the guard are just going to have free range over the two squads that are right in front of them.
And what I'm curious about here, Vicky, is where's the zone going to be pulling? So nice shot by C9. They're going to try and keep themselves some distance because they know that the guard is just going to easily win this game if they don't. But they'll get taken out on the way there, and Yazul takes out Knocker. That's an early knock. Will they full send and get those 3 kill points and, say, let's just take second place? No, they're going for first. Guess what? That full clean whip's going to come through. The guard gets the other 2, but Luminosity is not going to give the guard a chance to reset or loot. They push up wide left, and here we go. It's a game of arenas. 3 versus 3 for the win.
And Luminosity right now have the advantage to get the first crack onto Rambo. They're going to close in the gap, and the Rolling Thunder getting called in. It's going to get negated by the Watson ult too. You mentioned angles, and look at the way that Luminosity are playing spread out around each side of the rock. The Creeper Barrage manages to knock Rambo.
Aguadis is going to get the first knock on Rambo. Yanya gets the shield swap, and LG does not lose these fights. Keon, see you later. All of the guard eliminated as Luminosity is some way, somehow playing Edge, going to win again. Edge continues to shine today, Vicky, as Luminosity Gaming dominates here in game number 5.
Another win in favor for Luminosity. Let's not forget the